The following announcement has been paid for by Bros Retro Pins.
You and all the Hulkamaniacs should head over to brosretropins.bigcartel.com. That's right, dude. They've got Jake the Snake Roberts' brother and me, the Hulkster Hulk Hogan, available from Hasbro. Series 1 and they ship worldwide, dude. Check them out, brother.
Hello, and welcome to the UltraViolent Rest Hold podcast. Presented by Dan and Dougie. Sit back, relax and enjoy the utter shite that they will talk about for the next hour or so. It will be the absolute drizzling shits.
Fuck you piece of shit! Marty Jones!
Jesus!
You know, you got a bicycle!
Second away, round one.
And strength, of course.
Right, it's recording, but I'm not sure what I'm going to say to start it. I mean, I guess this will just be the intro, because it doesn't really matter, does it?
Everything matters, mate.
Yeah, well...
So having a non-intro.
Well, I'll keep that in, because...
Right, well, what's the podcast called?
UltraViolent Rest Hold, I believe.
And what's rubbish about the title of that podcast?
Other than the podcast is rubbish.
Yes.
Hence the intro. It's just all a bit pants, isn't it?
No, there's something particularly rubbish about the...
Oh, rest holds!
No, it's the fact it hasn't got the word wrestling in it.
Yeah, true. That's
we talk
pretty
about
awful.
wrestling and only wrestling and wrestling related items, and there is no mention of wrestling in the title of our podcast.
Yeah, which...
Whoever thought that up,
which I believe was you.
No,
Are you sure?
It might have been me actually. Is a div. Is a div.
Definitely was you.
Here's the first question for the podcast. We'll go educational. Where does the word div come from?
You, because you're a big fat div.
No, it's not true actually. Although I am a div. I aren't the original div. Div comes from the word divider, and if you was in prison and you was like a really unintelligent cellmate, you got the worst job in prison, and that was putting supports into cardboard boxes, also known as dividers, like for bottles and stuff like that, fragile material, and it was the easiest job going and the worst pain, and you was a divvy, which was short for divider. So that's where the term div comes from. So there you go. There's some education. That's to start with.
Your history lesson for today, then.
Well, it wasn't history of div, was it? Well, I suppose it was.
Yeah,
it was in a way.
it was.
Yeah. Yeah, historical wrestling related jargon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're talking about then, Dan?
It's been a while since we last did our.
It's been a long time.
Very few months.
Yeah.
Because busy with stuff, I guess.
No, there's a reason why it's been a few months actually.
Well, that.
Lack of demand.
Yeah, true.
Nobody loves us, but that's okay because we're the self-confessed worst podcast online.
To be fair, few like I've had about like 4 people, which is probably the 4 people that have listened to it, saying you should do another one.
Which 4 people's that?
We probably don't want to put the name to this crap. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So since our last one, we went to probably one of, or if not the best wrestling show we've ever been to.
Which show's that, mate?
Fight Club Pro.
Fight Club Pro.
Night 2 of the Dream Tag Team Invitational.
At
Manchester.
Yeah,
I forgot what it was.
In the grounds of the university.
Yeah. Bloody amazing.
What a fantastic show Fight Club Pro Manchester was. I was blown away by the quality of it all. I loved it.
Yeah, it was bloody amazing.
It was the main event.
Yeah.
The main event.
Yeah, brilliant. Pete Dunne and Sammy Callahan versus Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix.
Just, I mean, afterwards, standing ovation.
Yeah.
Sammy Callahan saying you've just seen a fight between 2 blokes dressed as cats, against two Mexicans, and it's
Yeah.
true.
It was amazing.
I had the seat I was sat on blown out from underneath me, and celebrated holding legs above me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that on the DVD when it comes out.
Also, during that match, while your seat got destroyed from underneath you, that was when Sammy Callahan, did he fall on you, but decided to put all his weight on you so the chair broke.
Yeah.
And then when you was on the floor, he was grabbing hold of my hoodie, trying to drag me to the floor out of my seat.
Yeah.
And like, I'm crapping myself because there's quite a big guy with face paint on like a cat, clawing at my clothes, trying to drag me to the floor. So I'm trying to get his hands off me, and ref's going like that to me, as if to say, like, don't touch the wrestler, when he's trying to drag me to the bloody floor.
Yeah, I'm suspecting there's a bit of a conspiracy there.
Yeah.
As if we was like a stooge in the audience or a target. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're all talk, aren't you?
Yeah, all talk. Yeah, all talk.
All
mate.
talk.
But it was insane that, because like once I'd lost my seat and I had literally nowhere to sit, there was nowhere to go, was there? You couldn't run down the aisles, and we just had to stand there and just watch the absolute
Grumbled
carnage.
at by some guy
Yeah.
because he couldn't see 2 seconds, and he was telling him to sit down. Him, I was like, "See that chair, mate, in the middle of all that carnage? That's my chair. I can't really sit down." Do you know what I mean? But he wouldn't have it. He just sat there and grumbled.
But what a show! You'll give it 9.5 out of 10, didn't you?
Yeah, because you can't really give a show a 10.
It was.
But it was as close to a 10 as you could get.
I mean, I'm still loving it now.
Yeah.
I also, talking about the merch, we tried ourselves some merch, didn't we?
Yeah.
I got myself a Fight Club Pro t-shirt, not a t-shirt, sorry, a hoodie. A mug that, when I opened it, somebody had actually used. It got like a bit of coffee and biscuit at the bottom of it. But I figured out it's no different from buying a pant in a pub where somebody's used it before you, so I washed it. And
unless it's like Abdullah the Butcher or something.
Yeah, maybe so, yeah.
Like bleeding into it.
Nudge for the victory.
Yeah.
But also,
Hannibal.
I also got a Pete Dunne t-shirt off Pete Dunne, because all the wrestlers were behind the merch tables, and I asked him if I could have a free nasty facial expression with the t-shirt, of which he duly obliged. Then pushed the t-shirt into my chest aggressively, which I really appreciated, because it wasn't done in a nasty way. It was just him being in character as I asked him to be in character. And that was probably one of my favourite things of the actual night, amongst loads of other things.
Yeah.
What did you think to the fans of the show, Dan?
I hate, like, there's certain things I hate. I hate it when everyone goes at one fall. I've just always hated that. I don't know why.
There was a degree of wrestling snobbery.
Yeah.
Did you not feel?
Yeah.
I can't try to counteract that by wearing a pink hardcore wrestling t-shirt with rainbows on, which they hated.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they hated it.
Yeah.
But a fantastic show.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to go back next year, aren't we? They're talking about doing it again.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go back again.
Yeah.
Which leads us on nicely to...
What about the hotel?
No, that's what I was going to say.
I thought you were just going to go to the next one.
No. I was going to say, which leads us nicely to the hotel.
Yeah.
What I found out is you don't get a lot for your money in the city centre of Manchester for £50 for a twin room. Jesus Christ! If any of the listener out there, the one listener we've got, is familiar with League of Gentlemen, Royston Vasey.
Yeah.
It was like a scene out of Royston Vasey, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was weird and it was pretty awful. Like, not, it wasn't like, oh, I can't sleep here, but it was borderline. It was a bit weird and odd.
Well, we walked in and we found out that the pub celebrates Christmas 365 days of the year.
Yeah. But like, it wasn't even just like we celebrate Christmas. It was decorations everywhere.
Yeah.
Like hanging from the ceiling. Like everywhere you looked was Christmas decorations.
But the pub was that depressing that if Christmas was like that, I would cancel Christmas every day of the year. The room was held together with duct tape.
Oh yeah. Like what I figured out, like with the guy that fixes everything in that hotel, he he has about like 2 favourite tools that he used to fix his things, which was duct tape and, do you know like white sticky labels you put on things and write?
Yeah.
It was them, because it was like everything seems to either be fixed with duct tape, or like the wall was white, and where there was big holes in the wall, he just stuck one of these like white labels over them.
I remember wiping my feet on the way out. And I reckon if there was a nuclear Armageddon and it hit that pub, you could probably do almost 10 quid's worth of damage.
Yeah. Which was quite scary, because that was the night when North Korea was testing missiles.
Yeah. This might sound a bit rude, mate, because we are recording live and you might want to edit out, but just please try not to say like so much.
Edit that out. I mean, I don't really know how. I mean, I should have just clicked pause, shouldn't I?
You should have done that.
Yeah,
It don't
but
matter.
I didn't know.
It was just really uncomfortable. Maybe somebody with a really sick sense of humour will really appreciate that really awkward conversation we've had.
It's not going to be in there. I'm going to edit it out.
Oh, okay then, mate. Well, for Christ's sake, let's move on to the next subject, please.
Right, so Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate from the NXT Chicago, I believe it was.
Ooh, yes, indeed, mate. Yes, indeed. I love Pete Dunne and I like Tyler Bate. Pete Dunne is ace. He is so good. And how good was that match?
It was brilliant.
It was a brilliant match. And how good was the crowd?
Brilliant.
And was it chanting UK?
It was chanting UK, and I think there was at least 3 standing ovations during the match. Not even after it, during. Which I thought was pretty amazing.
And what was that thing that Tyler Bate does where he spins him around? The world's quickest one.
He did an airplane spin. But
yeah.
He like did it that fast. He almost like took off like an aeroplane. It was insane.
It was. And from my personal point of view, I've never felt so proud to be a British wrestler.
Yeah. Wrestling fan.
Yeah. Well, no, British wrestling fan.
No, you said British wrestler.
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. I've never been a British wrestler. So, hang about. In this at this point where I get offended.
Yeah. Let's just pause it.
Let's go with it. Let's go with it, mate. Let's go with it. Yeah. Apparently, no. I've never been so proud to be a British wrestling fan. Not that I've ever been ashamed of that, but it was a really high point of showing the world what we're all about and how far we've come. I don't like the word scene, but it's a scene, isn't it? So hopefully, if it carries on being more and more successful, it will no longer be deemed a scene. It will just be you'll hate it, won't you? Because there'll be no indie scene.
It's like I enjoy it, but from a massively selfish point of view.
Yeah.
It's destroying what I've always loved, because like obviously I've grown up on it started with a tribute show, so like more or less I have grown up on British independent wrestling my full life.
Yeah, the reason you've grown up on British independent wrestling is because I wouldn't take you to the WWE.
Yeah, and I'm not bothered. I don't ever think I was bothered, because to me as a kid I didn't sit there and see Jody Flash and Johnny Storm and go, oh, they're not John Cena.
Yeah.
Because to me they were as a kid. Do you know what I mean? The wrestlers wrestling in a ring doing all this really amazing stuff. It was no different to me whatsoever.
It was slightly different. It was better than John Cena.
Oh yeah, miles better. But from me as a kid, it wasn't any different. Like if you said, do you want to see John Cena or I don't know, Jody Flash versus Johnny Storm? I'd have probably picked Jody Flash versus Johnny Storm, because I've seen him loads growing up.
And if John Cena was wrestling in my garden, I would close the curtains. Because he's shat.
Yeah.
Which is nearly a swear word, mate, isn't it?
Yeah. Shall I bleep that one? Or?
No, I think we'll class it as a derogative term, as Malcolm would put it.
Yeah, like arsehole.
Yeah. Which I could pick you up for swearing there, but we have established that arsehole is also not a swear word. It is a derogative term, because everybody's got an arse, and in that arse is a hole, but it's not a particular offensive word, ass.
It's just like a donut. We've all got a hole.
Yeah. So, what's the next subject? What's the next subject, you donut?
The indie shows that run at WrestleMania weekend, all like 700 of them.
Right.
Like, we watched a few, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just say what we can remember, because it was a while ago.
Well, I can think of something I can remember.
And it was like only one thing I can really remember.
Yeah.
That was bloody Marty Jannetty hitting a Canadian destroyer onto Joey Janela. I was just watching it. It's just like, yeah, this is a bit crap. Marty's probably on drugs or drunk. It's a bit rubbish. And then all of a sudden, the world's slowest Canadian destroyer I have ever seen. It was practically amazing.
I also thought I was drunk because I could have sworn I saw Virgil running.
Yeah, during the match, match was just weird. Was like 20 ref bumps and a Virgil running. I think there was something else as well.
There was lots of stuff going on.
It was just
weird.
Weird.
There's something else worth mentioning about the WrestleMania weekend. I was exposed to What Culture.
Ooh.
A documentary about the WrestleMania weekend. And it was one of the worst things I've ever seen, and I watched the deathmatch tournaments that you watched. Yeah. And it was worse than that.
Not the show. This wasn't the show. We haven't watched the show because I don't follow What Culture because to me promoters putting themselves on the show isn't something I enjoy watching. Yeah. So I don't watch the product. But I just downloaded this documentary. It was something like What Culture in Orlando documentary. So I downloaded it thinking, it'll be some kind of cool documentary about behind the scenes of the show. It was just awful. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. It wasn't like a documentary as such. It was just loads of clips smashed together. It was pretty horrendous.
Not just that, but the people involved, in my humble opinion, shouldn't really be actively involved in wrestling.
Yeah.
Because they were like just posh boys with too much money, just playing wrestling, messing about when they should really have proper jobs. I didn't like them. I thought they were taking the rise out of wrestling a bit, and I just didn't like it or understand it.
See, it depends. Because the stuff I was doing, they did something where one of them got super kicked into like a pond or something, and then they did another thing where they threw eggs or something, and that's to do with the YouTube channel, which they used to make money on until YouTube changed all the things. So that was different because that had nothing to do with their wrestling show. So that I'm fine with because they just make them videos and it practically funds the show, I'd imagine. But they also make money off that. But it's when they're dressing up in stupid crowns and they're coming out and being characters on the show. It isn't just them. It's like promoters in general, I guess. It's just something I hate. It's like I just see it as a way to get yourself on a show and no one else will book you.
If you're a promoter, you should concentrate on promoting the show.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Well, we share that opinion.
Yeah, it's something I've always thought. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit.
You would never catch Brian Dixon doing anything like that.
No.
Brian Dixon's a proper promoter, whether you like him or not. He's about making money off wrestling, and yeah, he used to MC his own shows, but that was to save a wage. He wasn't to make himself a star of the show.
Yeah.
And as soon as he could afford not to, he reverted back to just being the promoter with his merch table, making his money while everybody laughed at him and made impressions of him, and he ignored them and carried on making the money like promoters should do.
What it is for me, it's say like a promoter does start doing that, it's when I lose interest in their shows.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When it's I'm gonna be some character and get myself I don't want to use the word try and get a reaction out of the crowd and be the star of a show. That's when I'm just kind of like, I'm not interested in your product at all, because you're putting yourself in a situation that no one else will, because you're just not. Do you know what I mean? If that was what you are good at, someone would pay for you to do that on their show. Not you go, hey, I'm the boss, so I'm going to put myself in that. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. But what you could have said to cut that short, Dan,
yeah,
was to use
got a bit.
You could have used an insider term and say, get yourself over.
Oh.
The most overrated, overused, over saying. And I can totally understand why you didn't want to use over, because over's the word over. It's not really over, is it?
No, I just hate it when I listen to podcasts and start like saying all these words, and it's just kind of like I'd just rather avoid that.
Well, exactly, because
like obviously you got heel and face.
Well, I don't like using them. I like villain personally, but blue eye. But
you're right. For me, the reason I found that acceptable is because it was in a wrestling game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So.
And we don't want to be the smarky insider.
Yeah. UKFF.
Yeah. We in wrestling, there's a lot of people pretending to be something they're not.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think that both of us we're fans.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, I'm a fan. It's like we helped out at shows for 6 years, but that doesn't mean we're anything else.
No,
fans in the slightest.
And we wouldn't want to be, would we?
No.
I mean, I used to go to great lengths to remain a fan.
Yeah.
When all the insider stuff, or whatever you want to call it, was going on, I'd make myself scarce, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Just so I could enjoy the show. And we'd never ever go in the dressing room, would we?
No.
We could have gone wherever we wanted and never been questioned.
It's like I think I went backstage once during one of these fun days.
Yeah.
And literally it was like, oh, can you just go and give this to so and so? And I was like, crap. Do you know what I mean? I have to go backstage, and I hated it. I just like practically ran in there and went, this is yours, and then just ran out because I felt uncomfortable because it's not where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly. It's an old school mentality, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been backstage loads of times, and like you say, I've never been long and never enjoyed it or wanted to be there. No. The only time I felt comfortable backstage is when I've been by myself or with like other auxiliary type people helping put a show together. Not in a sort of like insider wrestling sort of environment. It's
like the way I can almost think it. It's like do you like when you're at school and like you're in like the teacher's staff room.
Yeah. And
it's like a bit weird because you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing as that, I guess. And you know what I mean? It's not where you should be. And the teachers wouldn't act the same as they would when they're in the classroom, would they? No. So it's just a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's not something I'd do. No. Anything else from the Wrestlemania weekend that we can remember?
Yeah, I can remember the guy who I really like, Jim Cornette. He turned up on What Culture. And I was really disappointed.
Yeah.
I was surprised that Jim Cornette put his name to that, because I rate the bloke. I can understand why he rubs people up the wrong way, but he's super intelligent and he knows what he's talking about. And I was just disappointed that Jim Cornette showed up in that, because he's better than that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I love Jim Cornette, but I didn't love him in What Culture because I thought he lowered his value.
Yeah.
And that's about all I've got to say about the WrestleMania weekend, mate.
Okay. So next we've got WrestleMania itself.
WrestleMania, yeah. We watched
we watched all kinds of crap like that.
We watched a lot of wrestling, didn't we?
The thing is, there was this Floor Slam thing that was in one venue that I think had about 5 shows on during the weekend.
Yeah.
But then there was the WNN, Wrestling Network, whatever it was, that Evolve's on, that had like a few shows running that weekend. Then there was WrestleCon. There was just too much going on to keep up with that weekend.
Was that NXT?
Yeah, it was NXT. It was all kind. Yeah, like it would have probably been enough just do the WWE stuff alone, not including all the independent stuff as well.
Of course, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
A friend of ours, Kev Cash, he went to WrestleMania weekend,
Yeah.
and the only comment I made on the entire WrestleMania weekend was he had a photo taken with Johnny Sane, which I just thought was amazing. And I'd have loved to have had my photo taken with Johnny Sane. I have done anyway in the past numerous times, but I'd have loved to have had a 30-minute chat with Johnny Sane while John Cena just walked by and I strobed him off inside the time. So yeah, WrestleMania anyway.
Yeah.
Not the best show. We had some good company, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had Kara and we had the Geach.
Yeah.
So it was a proper. Which started sort of early, didn't it? It started like for us. It started about 8 o'clock.
I'd already done about like 4 hours by that point.
And I'd done the Hall of Fame and NXT before that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it sort of officially started about 7 or 8. But we'd done a shift already, haven't we? But like 13, 16 hours of wrestling non-stop's no big deal to us, is it? It's just just another day at the office.
Yeah.
But WrestleMania itself.
I'm trying to think what I can, because it was about like over a month ago now.
But the hardest.
Yes, that
returned,
was my favourite thing, because like people were speculating that that's what was going to happen, but there was nothing, like confirmed. Like it caught me off guard completely, because when like you got all these websites saying, oh, so and so is going to return like on the show or at Royal Rumble and in the dirt, you kind of just take everything with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever these websites report, I tend to not believe until it's happened. So like I just wasn't expecting it at all, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I was that was probably that was the highlight of WrestleMania for me.
The highlight for me was probably the Goldberg and Lesnar match, purely because unlike all the other matches, it had that WrestleMania feel to it, and it was okay for what it was. It was 6 minutes or something.
We timed it. I'm sure it was like 6 minutes. It was either 6 minutes 12 or 6 minutes 20 something.
Yeah.
Wasn't much in it.
Yeah, but it had the WrestleMania feel. I felt. By then I was well and truly cream cracking anyway.
Yeah.
And also, I thought it was a bit of a shame to see the Undertaker as he was.
Yeah.
And having a bit of a botchy, not the greatest match, losing again. Leaving his clobber in the ring and kissing his wife on the way out.
Well, if that's it.
I just think he should have just maybe not lost the streak and quit WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
WrestleMania or two ago.
Yeah, it's like ideal situation for me would have been he didn't lose the streak, and then he either retired when he lost it. Because that would make sense, right? I mean, he's lost like why he was still wrestling essentially, or he didn't lose it and then just retired. Yeah, like exactly what he did, with the boots and everything. But he either slagged the streak, or he lost it and then did that.
I mean, he's had an amazing career, but
he
should have had an even more amazing end to his career.
Yeah,
it's just sort of faded a little bit.
Yeah, since he lost the streak, it was kind of like for me, it was like it's just an Undertaker match now. It doesn't have the feeling of what it had before, with it being, is he going to lose his streak, isn't he? Yeah. Like as soon as he lost it, for me, his matches weren't the same.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah,
and it was a shame. It's a shame.
Probably he is like. I'd say like the biggest legend in wrestling within the past 10-20 years. Yeah, like without a doubt.
Well, he is another insider term, gimmick. He's the greatest gimmick of all time.
Yeah.
What better gimmick than the Undertaker? There isn't. There's no one near, is there?
No. And like the length as well that he's wrestled as well. You could say Rock Austin, but Undertaker's been going for
forever. And it is because he's such a big man as well.
And he's dead.
And he's dead, yeah. So, I mean, that's another thing as well. In recent years, he's only wrestled once or twice a year, hasn't he? You know, it's almost like his career is over, but he just pops up for WrestleMania.
But that didn't bother me because he had the streak.
Yeah.
And it's like when because to me it was like, oh cool, the streak, WrestleMania, because like that is what I would get excited for. Like every year was Undertaker's streak, and when he lost it and he'd come up, you know, to WrestleMania every year after, and to me it was just kind of what's the point now?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's, I don't know, but still legend without a doubt.
Yeah, a legend.
Definitely. Was there anything else from WrestleMania?
No, nothing that I can think is worth repeating.
Nothing that sticks in my head.
It wasn't a great WrestleMania, but a lot of people were saying it was the best one for 5 or 10 years, which sort of says it all, really. It just, I enjoyed the celebration of wrestling and celebrating it with my friends and just binging on wrestling. Yeah,
loads of wrestling.
Yeah, so can't complain. But there you go. It's now time for Dougie's Historical Heat. This is Dougie's Historical Heat, and I do like my heat. And this little story refers to a bit of a violent altercation at the Spa Royal Hall in Bridlington about 35 years ago, between Skull Murphy, the indestructible Skull Murphy, and a fan at ringside. Murphy was at ringside and he felt a pain in his leg, and he turned round and he decided that it was just this fan's fault. Somebody was going to pay for it, so he requested that the fan stood up. So foolishly, this was like a fully grown male. He stood up, and Skull Murphy proceeded to punch him as hard as he could on the nose, and broke his nose. And the guy got taken to hospital. Now, anybody who knows Skull Murphy, who at the time was tagging with Fit Finlay all the time, neither one of these two dudes were ever to be messed with, ever. Either at ringside, during the match, after the match, on the way to the match. These were serious dudes and they could look after themselves. And it actually got into the Hull Daily Mail, and there was a picture of Skull Murphy at court, and I remember the title. It says Skull loses his head, and to avoid probably a bigger fine or even possibly prison, they actually had to be a little bit honest about wrestling when it was a closed shop, and the last thing they would ever do would want to reveal any of its inner secrets. But they did say that Skull Murphy's job was to rile the crowd, and that perhaps on this given night he did his job a little bit too well. And he got a small fine, and he apologised to the fan, but never mess with Skull Murphy. And if a wrestler ever asks you to stand up, I strongly suggest you stay seated. And of course, don't ever get in the ring unless you're invited.
Which goes to Fight Factory Wrestling, where a small child, right, they did the thing with the ref where he gets knocked over, and the like do the pin count while the ref's down.
Yeah. And
a small child, like, while speaking of not going in the ring unless you're invited, slid, like, the ref's knocked out and he's pinning him, and the crowd's going 1, 2, like that. This small child slides in through the bottom rope and counts for 3.
Yeah, and he did it well.
But tell you what, he slid in there like John Cena.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
He then slid to the second row as his mother grabbed hold of him and chucked him there. And the security stood next to him to make sure he didn't do it again. Yeah. But that was Fight Factory. It's a Lincoln-based promotion that was actually in Cleethorpes at the Beachcombe last Friday night, a week as today. And not the best show. Very small crowd. less than 100. Dare I suggest less than 50 paid. Weird show. There was nothing wrong with the production values.
No, like they had like a screen and like they had like videos playing. Do you know of like kind of like a intro video? Do you know, like when Monday Night Raw comes on and it's got like the little video package before it comes on.
Yeah.
But we had one there and it was really well put together, I thought.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But the first half of the show, if I'm being honest, was poor. It was just the quality of wrestling was poor. The wrestlers were not really show ready in my opinion, and it was just a bit hokey and poo. The only thing I enjoyed about the first half of the show.
Sorry, it was just all that build up and then just poo. Sorry.
The highlight of the show of the first half was me talking to SC Supreme, who's he's I think he's retired now. But what a lovely bloke, and what a great villain he was, and getting the reactions with his tag partner Bam Bam Barton. He was fantastic, and enjoyed talking to him. But the second half, I have to say, was more enjoyable. Maybe because it had to be, because it couldn't be any less enjoyable than the first half. And we had the amazing Matt Myers.
Yeah, that was a good match. I enjoyed it.
It was a fun match, wasn't it?
Fun. Yeah.
It was against
Magic Myers.
Yeah, his alleged cousin.
With who was the smallest heavyweight champion? Was it smallest or lightest? I don't know. He came up with like a mini replica belt that goes around your wrist.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite cool actually. I've never seen that before.
And I love Matt Myers. He's a nice person in real life, but the character is can we say blue eye, good guy, goody, baby face. Insider terms again. Sorry, Dan.
Right.
Oh, Dad, stop using insider terms. Dad. Matt Myers, he's ace. He is so relaxed when he's wrestling. He's been wrestling now for, it must be 10 years.
It's way over 10.
It's way over 10 years. Even though he's only young, he started so young, and he comes out there and he's just loving it. Just happy to be there, so relaxed, and that helps the crowd react and relax and enjoy it, because that's what it's all about, is enjoying it and relax. And just Matt Myers, he's just fantastic and such a good guy. So we really enjoyed his match. Then there was the championship match, where the promoter was the champion, and the promoter's wife did the promo, and they had a match that was a bit bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. I'm going to try and map this out for everybody. It was the guy in orange versus the guy in black. The guy in orange was the champion, and what it was, if the guy in orange won, at the next show, the day after, wherever it was, I can't remember where. New Highcombe,
yeah.
Something like that. If the champion won, they would have a brown panties match at the next show.
Yes.
So it's like massive fat guy.
Yeah. And he was fat.
And he was against this guy who was, I'd say, he was quite big.
Yeah, it was big.
So let me think. Is he going to win, and we're going to have a brown panties match at the next show, or is it going to be the fat guy who isn't the champion who requested for a hardcore match? Right. What's more believable, a hardcore match? Or, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It was just a bit like, right, so we know who's going to win this one, man.
Yeah, it certainly was a big spoiler for the results.
But bear in mind, like obviously, the next match was going to be a hardcore match. This one was just a normal match, but they decided to use chairs and ignore the referee. Yep. So it was a hardcore match, which was leading into another hardcore match.
They also ignored the ring. There was hardly in the ring, was there? So the referee just stood there, like an anus waiting to fart. But yeah, so not the best really. But which leads us to the final match, which was Will Cruz versus WWE UK star
Tyson T-Bone.
Tyson T-Bone. Now, I like T-Bone. I quite like his image, and I thought he looked a bit like a star. And the match was long, and maybe perhaps too long, and Will Cruz was a little bit inexperienced, but I sort of enjoyed it. I think the crowd were getting a bit restless, taking the mickey, and it wasn't overly serious, was it?
The matches all seem to be a bit too long, though.
Yeah.
I think it more came down to the fact of it being a bit late, and it was on, the full show was on a bit too long, I think.
The only match that wasn't long was the Matt Myers one, and that was the best one.
Yeah. Which could have been why.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, that could have been the reason. And anyway, I enjoyed it, but it did seem to go on forever, and it had an awful finish. Do you remember the finish, mate?
Yeah, the ref.
The ref just counted 3, and then just pretended it didn't, and it was such an obvious 3. It could have been a 6 count, couldn't it?
T-Bone got Will Cruz up in a power drived him, and pinned him. Will Cruz's shoulders did not move, and the ref went 1, 2, 2.
Yeah.
So, and there's just this confusion for about 30 seconds of, was that 3, was that 2, what you doing, ref? His shoulders didn't move. So then T-Bone picked him up and gave him another pile driver for the finish. So there's something about Grimsby and the refs being awful.
Correct.
It doesn't matter what show, because it isn't just the Fight Facts show. That's the first Fight Facts show we've seen. But I recognise the ref from other shows we have seen in Grimsby with different promotions, and it's other refs in different promotions as well. It's not just that ref. Yeah. It's other. It just seems to be Grimsby. It's when referees go to Grimsby, they're just crap. Yeah. We must have seen the ref call a 3 count when it hasn't, when we've either kicked out or we've counted a 2 when we haven't kicked out, probably about 20 times. Yeah. It's just something about Grimsby and referees being rubbish.
And it was that bad, this 3 count that wasn't a 3 count, that it looked like the ref was turning heel, didn't it?
Yeah, it was 1, 2, oh, my wrist, I can't count the 3 count because my hand hurts. But it wasn't. And then
he eventually counted it, and then he ran to the back. Presumably,
just head down.
Yeah, head down. Presumably waiting where they'd started his car up.
Yeah.
And he was going to skedaddle before he had to answer to T-Bone.
Yeah.
So there's not the best, but we've got another show to look forward to, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's Bridlington.
Bradley.
We do like a pun. So Bradlington or Bridlington at the Spa Royal Hall on Bank Holiday Monday, and we like our Bridlington shows on our Mondays. And we've got a bit of company with. Malcolm's not joining us. No, he's not. He's umpiring.
Right.
Unless of course it's raining, and it has forecast rain, so we might see Malcolm there.
Fingers crossed.
Your fingers crossed. But
do you know when doors and that are?
Yeah, the doors are 7 o'clock and the bell time is 7:30, and that's on this coming Bank Holiday Monday, which is
29th.
Monday the 29th. They've got a few pre-sales, and if our one listener can get himself down to the Spa Royal Hall, he'll see a decent show. We've got El Ligero, Robbie McKenzie, JC Thunder, cousin Jake, Saxon
from the WWE UK tournament.
Exactly, no less. Yes. Don't know who else we've got, but they've promised, according to their Facebook site, a revamp.
Ooh.
Yes.
Sounds interesting.
With dancers and I don't know what. You'll have to go to Bridlington on Monday to find out the plans of the revamp.
Yeah.
The all new, improved Bridlington Mega Slam. Well, we didn't use the name Mega Slam Wrestling.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not called Bradlington, but
no, it's not. It's Mega Slam Wrestling. Yeah.
So
only us call it Bradlington.
Yeah. So get yourself down there.
Yeah.
If for 2 people that are listening between now and Monday.
Phone viewing figures doubled. Very
Bloody
good.
hell.
Yes. We've got another subject here. Dan, over to you.
Yeah. So now it is my favourite time of year as a wrestling fan, because it's when all the hillbillies from down south in America decide to get the light tubes out and bash each other over the heads of them like retards.
Great.
Yes, it's amazing. Matt Tremont's on them all, Dad.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. We've had Carnage Cup already, which I believe I showed you.
Yes.
What was your thoughts on that? What I've realised is watching these death matches, the more down south they are, the worse it is, the more retarded it is. So Carnage Cup was IWA Deep South. So that suggests to me that's as far down south as you can go. So that's where the most retards are. So that's just setting the tone for this show.
Yeah, as a parent, I spent numerous years brainwashing you into being a wrestling fan, and very successful I was too. Sadly, somewhere along the lines I went wrong, and Dan became a deathmatch wrestling fan. God knows why.
Cactus Jack and Terry Funk's fault from IWA Japan King of the Deathmatch.
But I hate you using that explanation because they're 2 of my favourites, but I can't stand deathmatch wrestling. Having said that, it's the return of Nick Gage.
I've been undecided between Tournament of Survival and Tournament of Death, which one I'm most looking forward to. But I believe it's Tournament of Survival. Talk about Tournament of Death first.
Well, go on then, Dan, because you'll have to get me up to speed, mate.
CZW Tournament of Death. They're flying to Brits over for this year's tournament, which is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
They've got Clint Margera from, he's known from Fight Club Pro, and Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah.
I believe Clint Margera's in a barbed wire madness match against Connor Claxton. And Jimmy Havoc is in a pane of glass match against John Wayne Murdoch and Ricky Shane Page.
Triple threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Havoc.
I'll leave that one to you.
Don't rate him.
Right.
He's okay. He'll probably do fine in these death matches, but I think your deathmatch wrestlers should look like deathmatch wrestlers.
Fat like all of them.
Preferably not fat and ginger and covered in scars on the forehead, and have like very little athletic ability or stamina.
And like always have a bloody insane clown posse tattoo.
Yeah.
I bloody hate that. It does my head in.
But Jimmy Havoc just looks a little bit weedy. And he looks like he could be bullied, which I don't think is ideal for being a deathmatch wrestler. You know, you should at least look like you can participate to a reasonably successful degree in a deathmatch. And Jimmy Havoc just looks like he's going to get his ass handed to him. Whether he does or not, I don't know. He'll definitely have more athletic ability and more skill.
See, I was just going to say that. I'm like, compared to most of the deathmatch wrestlers, in finger quote, he will be the best on the show.
Which is sort of telling you how crap this promotion is, mate. Well, because they are crap shows.
Well,
but you like them, don't you?
Never said it was brilliant. I just enjoy death matches because I've liked hardcore wrestling, like growing up, and then I was like, oh, Necro Butcher, what's this? Whoa, this is insane. It just grabbed my attention because loads of blood.
It grabbed my attention because it was so crap.
So yeah, there's Tournament of Death where we're flying to Brits over, which I think's pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? Considering like companies in America have only just started flying British wrestlers over.
And
to then do it for a deathmatch tournament, which, bearing in mind, there isn't many Britain isn't known for the deathmatch wrestlers.
Correct.
So then fly 2 over,
Yep.
which I think is pretty impressive, if I'm honest.
And what is the length of time between Tournament of Death and Tournament of Survival?
A week or so. I believe.
week?
Yeah, it's not much.
And do they clash in the sense that they're near each other, or
the Tournament of Death is normally in DJ Hard's parents' backyard.
Yeah.
I am not lying. It's
Yeah.
his parents own a house with a massive field, and it's in the massive field. We'll be in roughly the same area. I know Tournament of Survival's in New Jersey.
do they work together, or is there tension between the promotions?
I'm not sure. They use similar guys, and it's
Yeah.
in a similar area.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure. I mean, it won't surprise me, especially knowing how certain promoters can be perceived as arrogant.
Yeah.
From watching the 8-hour shoot interviews.
Yeah, yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes throwing lariats, and his name isn't Stan Hansen.
No, it's DJ Hard. Or as he tries to portray himself, DJ Hard, because he wins all his fights because he's hard. He's
he's
strange dude.
Yeah, he doesn't come across as the nicest person.
No, not the nicest person in the world, or even possibly, dare I say, the second nicest person in the world.
He actually is the second nicest person in the world. Because moving on to John Zandig's Tournament of Survival, they have the returning Nick Gage.
Returning from
prison
jail.
for the second time.
Yes.
Which is the reason I'm most excited for Zandig's Tournament of Survival 2, because it has John Zandig,
Yes.
the original owner and creator of Combat Zone Wrestling,
Yes.
which means let's just do loads of crazy things for no reason. Let's throw people off roofs.
Yep.
Who else is on it? Oh, it's got Zandig versus Matt Tremont, which is a dream match for you, I believe.
No, I've not dreamt that. I've had nightmares about that match. So it could be a nightmare match.
Yeah.
I woke up in the middle of the night crying over Matt Tremont's contributions to the world of wrestling.
Yeah.
And the less said about the other dude, the better. But you said it's got Nick Gage against
Jimmy Lloyd.
Yes.
Who, from watching the recent GCW show, wasn't that good.
You're suggesting that the others are?
No, but you even said that match was probably the worst.
Yes, the worst of the worst.
It just... it was weird. It just didn't work. His hair getting stuck in barbed wire about 4 times, so he had to pull his own hair out. And just things kept going wrong, and to me it just came across as if, like, I don't know, because like I'm like not no one to judge, but it just came across as if he wasn't ready to be in that situation yet.
Well, he's going to be in a situation with Nick Gage.
Yeah, Nick Gage is just going to kill him.
Whether Nick Gage progresses to the next round or not, he's still going to kill him, isn't he?
Yeah, because like, something I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if Nick Gage will just kill him, because for those of you who don't know who Nick Gage is, he's a terrifying human being, and I'm pretty sure it's not just a character. I mean, he went out and did an armed robbery and got locked up for 4.5 years.
He doesn't look like he's got like a massive sense of humour, does he?
No, he's just constantly got this like angry look on his face, like all the time.
And when he's actually wrestling, he's expressing that anger, isn't he? There's not much love in the ring, is there? Let's face it.
No, he's definitely up there with the people I wouldn't want to be in a ring with. He's terrifying.
Well, I'm not overly keen on sharing planet Earth with him. But who am I to judge?
What else? What other matches is from I'm looking forward to? Was one of the wrestlers has been injured, and they have announced. Well, they haven't announced that there's a mystery person going to be into the tournament, which should be interesting. Because it could be anyone.
Well, it's a mystery, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mystery. Which I'm quite actually looking forward to seeing who it is. I'm hoping for Schlack. just because Schlack.
Well, Schlack's a wrestler, in case you think
Yeah.
Dan just like slayed his wares.
Yeah,
there.
SHLAK, Schlack.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping for Corporal Robinson.
Oh, Corp.
Just so we can see his forehead.
Look
It
at
looks like
his forehead's horrendous.
it looks like a 3D map, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
The thing what confuses me is like his forehead, like when he bleeds, his like cuts on his head are like from temple to temple, like just straight across his forehead, and it's like I don't imagine him wrestling too often because of his style and his ability, but
what his book ability?
yeah.
Nobody wants to book him.
No, but his forehead always looks sore and freshly cut, which is confusing. Cause
He probably does it most nights just to entertain himself.
yeah, well, yeah, does have an insane clown posse tattoo, so I wouldn't put anything past him because we're all retards.
Yes, I agree.
Whoop whoop. Yeah, that's deathmatch things out of there.
Well, we're moving back to the UK scene. We're back at Grimsby on July the 8th, and it's man and Dan's birthday treat.
Yes.
I'll be celebrating my 50th birthday, and Dan's birthday is August. And as a joint birthday,
How old am I?
you're 21 in
Hey,
August.
you didn't forget.
21 in August, and we'll be celebrating it by going to Grimsby Wrestling. Can you remember what it's called, the promotion? Because I forgot.
I'm not too sure off the top of my head.
It's the return of the GWA wrestlers, but not a GWA promotion. We've got decent seats, but the venue's changed. It's called Locarno's or something like that.
In that thing you used to build, it's a bit like Lego.
No, that's Meccano.
Oh, okay.
But apparently it's rather rough in there, which is saying something because Grimsby is horrendously rough. But it's
called British Wrestling Revolution, BWR.
Yeah.
Uprising is the name of the show.
And it's insane value. It's £7.50 a ticket, and you've got Joe Connors and Bubblegum on there. You've got Matt Myers against our favourite Simon Lancaster.
I love Simon Lancaster.
I love Matt Myers. I love them both for different reasons.
Southside classic.
And then we've got Tyler Devlin against Tom Weaver. So you've got some really good matches on there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Malcolm won't be going. But June, my mother, your grandmother, as a birthday treat, has taken us down to Grimsby. Because, let's face it,
Grimsby Wrestling.
For your 21st and my 50th, what would we rather do? Anything? No. We want to be at Grimsby.
Grimsby Wrestling.
We want to be at Grimsby.
Is like the Madison Square Garden. Like if Madison Square Garden was a city.
What if it puts a mad in Madison Square Garden?
That sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, it's mental.
It is brilliantly mental.
What have we seen?
Sabu nearly punched a pensioner fighting over a table.
Yes, we've seen altercations where the fans got in the ring. Mm-hmm. We saw a wrestler fly out the ring and hit the back of a bloke with a tray of drinks who flew through a door into the bar area.
Oh my God, yes!
And we've still not seen him.
We've seen an old guy nearly get in a fight with a wrestler and try to get in the ring.
Yes, and just loads of really bad, but I've got to say, enthusiastic and entertaining wrestling and great atmospheres.
Brilliant.
You never go to a Grimsby show and have a bad atmosphere.
Yeah.
And we love Grimsby for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And long may it continue.
But it's like it's the argument that you could say that like WWE wrestling wise isn't as good as some people would say New Japan. but
Yeah.
what's more entertaining?
New Japan, mate.
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah,
It's not overrated.
With Shinji Takanaka versus Shinsuke Nakajima.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer's 7-star classic.
Yeah, the neck beards are all over that
Yeah.
one. And
it's like some of the wrestling that we've seen at Grimsby might not be the best wrestling, but it was hands down the most entertaining.
it had an honesty about it, didn't
Yeah.
it? An honesty about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it wasn't like, oh yeah, we're like the best wrestling promotion, but it was the most entertaining shows we've ever been to.
And they're going to bust their ass and,
Yeah.
be the best and give you the best show they can,
Yeah.
whatever that show is.
Like I remember just being like, they used to do them every week?
No, it was once a month.
Once a month.
It
right.
used to take you a month to get over it. That's why you thought it was done every week.
Yeah. They used to do shows every month, and I would be so excited just for this little room.
The warehouse.
Yeah, the warehouse in Grimsby. It's just like
Freeman Street. That's
Yeah.
how good Grimsby Wrestling
Yeah.
is. We know it's the warehouse on Freeman Street.
Yeah. Just a little room filled with about 100 at most.
120 max.
Right. Just filled with like 100, 120 people, but the atmosphere was great. The wrestling entertaining, and I would look forward to that show every single month, just being like, I can't wait for the next one, because it's either I can't believe what I've just seen because that was just crazy, or that was just so much fun chanting random stuff for no reason, but it was so fun.
And there was a lot of love in the air, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
They all loved the fans, didn't they? You couldn't
Yeah.
upset them. And it was £5.
Yeah,
£5
do you know
to
what I
get
mean?
in. Do you remember that time when you left when we was walking down Freeman Street and you said to me, Dad, I can't believe I've run out of Botchamania references.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just an amazing promotion.
Grimsby Wrestling Alliance is in my top 5 wrestling promotions of all time.
Yeah.
Just because the entertainment value, whether it be good, bad, or whatever.
It was never boring. Never. Nowhere near boring.
Never have I walked away from a GWA or RDW, because it was run by the same people.
Yeah.
Never walked away from one of them shows disappointed.
Yeah.
But there's always been something on that show. Like half the time it was a full show, not just one thing. The full show was just brilliant.
Yeah.
And I honestly miss GWA, RDW, and I am hoping that this BWR show lives up to the legacy that GWA has left.
I fear it won't, mate. I think it'll be a little bit too good.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing.
But also them GWA, RDW shows did have
good wrestling.
Good wrestlers on.
Yeah.
So it could be really good matches in between really entertaining matches.
Yeah. Or bad matches, as they used to be called, until we got into them.
Yeah. Well.
And that leads us to our final subject for this wrestling podcast. It's a wrestling podcast.
Right.
We talk about wrestling. And it's progress.
Yeah. I don't really know much about this, you know more than me.
I don't know much at all, apart from they announced yesterday, I think it was, that they're debuting in New York,
right,
America. Amazing.
Yeah.
And they'll do well.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's like Progress Wrestling, to me, comes across as like the biggest British wrestling promotion in the country.
Yeah.
Or like most well-known, like worldwide, I'd say.
But it's a strange one because they use the same talent as plenty of other promotions.
Yeah.
They've got virtually no production values apart from like a screen at the Electric Ballroom. It's just surrounded by hype.
It's just got a cult following.
Cult following. And
it's like, I mean, you could argue it's the same as PWG. It's just a name. It's like, I think if someone did a pro wrestling guerrilla show just under that name over here, I reckon it'd draw just on the name. I think it, like, the shows are really good, like, without a doubt, but I think it just comes down to, like, not necessarily just the name, it's the reputation the name has, I guess.
But some of the shows haven't been quite as good, have they?
There's been the odd.
Yeah, but they all sell out, don't they, straight away?
Yeah.
And
but most of the time, they're announcing a card, which is quite impressive. You know what I mean?
And they're obviously doing Manchester, and they did Brixton Academy, which wasn't very well received as a wrestling venue. And then they're doing another one at the end of the year. I don't know where it is, but it's another big venue in London. Can't remember where it is. And they're also doing a documentary, mate. Is it You Fund?
Go Fund. Kickstarter documentary.
One of them. And it got fully funded by somebody who wishes to remain nameless.
No, they've funded, I think it was 2.5. But you know, when you're like,
yes.
Rob Feinstein.
Shady. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
hand symbol.
Yeah, just a bit shady.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. So that rounds up the return of the UltraViolent Rest Hold Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, just thanks for listening to this 1 hour and 6 minutes of us talking utter crap.
It might not be a minute and 6.
Oh, no, it's a minute and 7. Whoa!
It might not be an hour and 7. It might not be an hour and 7 because Dan might delete or edit out our little argument in the middle. Yeah. So it might be. It'll probably be around.
Because my speech therapist over here decided to.
I chipped in and became his father and just removed any fun or atmosphere out of the podcast or any joy out of his life and the podcast.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be around it. Yeah. Probably. He's suffering from anxiety, Dan.
Yeah, really badly.
Like the Tumblr fag he is.
Yeah, like a snowflake I am.
I'm not allowed to say fag, am I?
Yeah, I'm not bothered.
I don't mean a derogative term against gay people.
Yeah, nothing against homosexuals.
But Dan's the East Hull fag, which is just a derogative term against people who did.
It's just a food, isn't it?
It's just a food, It's not. I've got nothing against gay people, and I'm talking too much now, so I'm going to leave it. I went a full hour without being controversial, and then just tripped up at the end.
It would just drop the fag bomb at the end,
which was a total accident. I'm not homophobic. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the UltraViolent Rest Hold podcast. Please feel free to complain how fucking awful this podcast is and tell everyone to never listen to it.